And we are back on Division 2. Now we're going to jump into the second game, but before we do so, we need to meet a little bit better one team. We had a Q&A prepared for you guys, and there you go. It's coming in for Lucent Esports, who is most likely to FEF at 15 minutes. No one, we are all stand-up members of the amazing League of Legends community, Kurosh. You gotta throw you have to throw someone to the ground when you answer these ones.
He really said we're all outstanding members of the League of Legends community and follow the Summoner's Code, profusely.
Uh-huh.
It would probably be Lucent though if any team is going to FF at 15. I'm
Do
just
you
saying.
still
Anyway,
recall the Summoner's Code?
no, absolutely not. I
Oh,
just be kind to other summoners when you're on the Rift. That's about it. I believe we have more. We got more. I think we got more.
yes. Let's see what else we have. Where's the cutest pet? Little
Oh,
pet red Harry. Aww.
aw,
Look at the second photo though.
that is really adorable. What's actually really funny
Aww.
is unless Lil Pants has had these rats for a little while, he's obviously laning with Fuyu, whose real name is Harry.
Oh.
Um, yeah, so I think he's named his rats after Fuyu, which is absolutely hilarious, by the way.
So
But
good.
those are some cute mouses or rats, whichever. I
Yeah.
think that there is a difference between the two. I'm just not sure what they are, but I agree with the answer. Good job, good job. Nice,
By the
nice
way,
guy.
if you guys have pets at home, send us at
Yes. Yeah.
NLC
Hell,
at
you know what?
home.
You don't even have to. Well, no, do the hashtag, but also just send it to us. Like actually
Yeah,
directly. We love
tag us on
animals.
Twitter. We don't care.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
just want to see
Just like
cute
we
pets.
just want to
I'm
see. Yeah, we just want to see pets and animals. Next one,
especially
we got more.
dogs. Yeah,
I think.
more.
I think there's more. There's more Q&A stuff, right? Oh no, there was only two things.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's
Well,
it. That's it. We want more pictures of your pets. That's exactly what we're asking. As we're
yes.
going to jump into the game between Lightside and Lucent in two teams. I mean, Lightside are looking good, if we may.
Yeah, light side. I think not only like looking good, but looking above expectations by a substantial amount, right?
Yeah.
Whilst again, no one was expecting this roster to fail, not make playoffs or anything. I think right now the fact that they're cruising at 4-1 is definitely, a bit of a statement. And the thing is, they've played quite a few of the strong teams. When you take a look at the schedule, they've played Monster, I believe. Oh no, rather they played Natives. They've played Unique as well, who they obviously most recently took down. Rate have definitely looked kind of up and down. I need to double check whether or not their win against Monster was because of course, Monster having to step back last week. I
Mhm.
don't think it was. Though it could be. It was. But either way, they still
Okay.
technically have the head to over Monster. So who cares? They're 4-1. They do look very strong from what we've seen. And I expect to see this dominance continue over a Lucent side who have definitely been struggling to get to the end result, right? They've definitely looked okay in some of their early games, their mid games, but again, it's about transitioning, you know, those tangible leads into, things that actually matter. And so far, that's definitely been one of the struggling points for Lucent.
Okay, in your opinion, when we look into this game, when we look into this match, even though it's only a best of one, where should we focus in between these two teams, light side, Lucent?
I mean,
Tough
I
one.
think I think you definitely want to look towards the bottom side. I think, Lil Pants and Fuyu seem to have a very nuanced idea of how they want to play the bottom lane. They have a lot of, I won't say, dub it inherently strange picks, but they don't always play towards the meta. They look to try and innovate a little bit. And I think on the opposite side, Moxox and Svene have definitely looked
Mhm.
honestly quite good. So I want to see how this bottom lane matchup ends up falling into place. Also, the jungle, right? I think the fact now that we're seeing a new jungler come in for Lucent this week into Bambi, who has been having pretty strong performances consistently. I think that's another matchup I want to see, the bottom lane in the jungle.
Okay, let's see what happens throughout this champion select to see where the focus is going to be laid down upon us. Gragas has been picked. We've seen Gragas getting that buff. They decided to go with more AP-ish in the previous game. It didn't quite work out as intended. I don't think the Gragas was an issue. But something that I'm finding it interesting is the idea that Talia is going through the champion select and no one is even looking into the champion. I know it was a kind of a well,
It,
not nerfed or buffed. They were just a tweak.
it was definitely, yeah. I would definitely say it's more towards the nerf side, whilst
But he
some of
can
the
bring
nuance
it to the
change.
mid lane, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the fact that it got hit in the way it did, a lot less damage in the threaded volley, which is her predominant, damage source,
Mhm.
does make it, slightly weaker. But again, the stun field, the way that's put down, they even, if I recall correctly, though, I'd have to look it up. They buffed the stun duration on jungle camp, so they've actually made Talia a slightly stronger jungler in that sense, in terms of kiting out. But in terms of, was it damage? I think it was damage. So they've made the E deal more damage on the jungle camp side. So slightly faster clearing the jungle. The mid lane definitely got hit. It seems like they were happy with jungle Talia, but not so much mid lane
Mhm.
Talia, and that was definitely the problem. Um, so yeah, curious to see it go overlooked. Wukong, the other one as well, even though he got nerfed, the nerf wasn't that significant in my opinion. So surprised we didn't see that one in
That
game
is
one
true,
even show
yeah.
its face. Especially if you look towards the regions that have kickstarted up now. We've got obviously the LCK, LEC had its first weekend. LPL's been going for a while. Wukong has been near omnipresent alongside the Viego, so surprised that we didn't see that one get picked up.
Yeah, Wukong, it was picked constantly in NLC Division 1 yesterday. Everybody was looking for the Wukong. The hit is not that big. The idea of you jumping walls with the clone is more than enough. The decoy, it brought Wukong, and he's not going away unless you take away a lot of his power. And obviously, it's not that. The nerf he received, it's not that. I was looking into the Talia, and you're right. It was more towards allowing you go to the jungle. I misread it because I thought it was more allowing you going to the lane. So that makes sense on why she got a stone in the face. So let's see if Talia is able to appear eventually. Maybe someone that enjoys Talia. At least if you see a lot of dashes, bring in the Talia. That's a way to deal with it. Okay,
Yeah,
while we're waiting for this game, I'm trying to find out how long we have until the game. I'm trying to press the button of start the game, but it should
yeah.
be soon enough for you guys.
One of the few productions where casters start the game is kind of close to being a thing. We don't have complete authority, but I think faster than most broadcasts, we can probably just go, "Hey, when's the game starting?" Read about 20 seconds. All right, see, there you go. We can give you these ETAs unlike other broadcasts, and that's what's great. Oh, it's not even 20 seconds. It's right now.
Oh,
There
he
you go.
lied.
Graph is on
Okay.
our screen. Light side on the blue side, Lucent on the red. 4-1, 1-4, mirroring scores.
Mhm.
Would love to pick up a win if you're on the side of light side because again, have looked okay. Even when they had the right donor, to be honest, if you're filling in the jungle, their manager, it wasn't, end times. It's not exactly, the jungle that you want to have in that slot, your own manager. But hey, being able to field a roster is what it can be important sometimes. Better a chance to win than no chance at all. All right, now, light side, removing away the Yumi, removing away the Senna, and Lucian will also be banned away. So already, multiple champions that we saw open in the last game won't be available for game number two.
We still have Wukong available. We talked about him. Zeri as well. That is a red side ban. Obviously, I believe it's going to be the third one most of the times. You don't want to leave that open. We've seen it being picked blind, no care. Like, okay, you're leaving Zeri open. We don't care. You punish her early. She's kind of strong with the crit build nowadays. And the double critting is
Oh,
something to behold, as Lucent are going to skip one ban. Apparently, yes, Wukong is going to be the last one, and probably Zeri to wrap up for Lucent.
yeah, definitely a strange one. I don't think Lucent lost any bans unless there's a communication I missed out on, but or struck any bans rather. So just opting to miss a ban here. We'll remove away Bambi's Lilia, which you've seen him have pretty strong success on, but that means that the Zeri is up and available, and I'm not sure what's going on with that missing ban, whether or not they wanted to remove Zeri in that slot. It doesn't matter now because now Lightside have it. The only thing is, we know Fuyu plays the Twitch into this. So will we just see, Twitch Lulu like slammed right here in R1, R2? I think is a very strong possibility. You do give up the jungle, uh, you know, over to Bambi in terms of pick of the litter,
Mhm.
right? Still has things like the Viego to lean on. But again, you're happy with the AD matchup because we know Fuyu has played this on many occasions already here in Division 2. And I expect, honestly, Little Pants will probably just pick up the Lulu here unless they feel like Svene won't take it on B2, B3. But I feel like Lightside would want to split that pairing up. So it's likely almost a telegraphed move at this point, and now it's going to be about how Lightside want to respond to that.
Yeah, there's no way around it. If you want the Lulu, you You don't jinx it and allow Lightside to take it away. So there you go. Lulu with the Twitch. It's more than enough. Now, do we get to see what we saw yesterday at Division 1? The Twitch with AP, if the composition
I hope
calls
not.
for that. Yeah, I hope not as well. But if it calls for that, oh, it's going to be a 40-minute game as the victor is going to be picked blindly into the mid lane. Probably with the
Yeah,
Viego as well. Okay, I
yeah.
see where we're
Okay, so
going.
now the
Lucent,
real way that we get a 40-minute game is if we see Corki or Azir locked in here for Kurosh.
don't you
And
dare.
and the thing
Don't.
is, Kurosh plays both of these champions, and he's pretty damn good at both of them as well. And that's
I
the
will
scary
steal
thing
your
about them.
kebabs, okay?
I
Shemara, I will.
oh, it's Dandom's Poppy. Okay, so Dandom, for those that don't know, is I won't necessarily say an OTP, but he does love his Poppy. But what's pretty hilarious about this is DBL. Do you know what DBL stands for, Arsharam? You might be new enough to potentially not know
No, hit me,
what
hit me,
DBL
hit
stands
me.
for.
I love to
It
learn
stands for Death by Lollipops. Now, do you know why it's Death by Lollipops?
because we have the amazing skin that was reworked sadly for Lollipop
Lollipoppy.
Poppy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So
I
this is
still have
actually a pretty
nightmares
strong flex for the Lucent side here. And yeah, I agree. I still have nightmares too. And don't forget, Bammy's buffed tank items a little bit stronger on this patch. What I expect now is that Lucent will pick up their mid laner for Korosh, and then we'll see this Poppy held as a flex towards the top side if the matchup suits it. For now, though, Lightside banning away top laners, I think that's very strange to see the Olaf taken away. I think realistically, Olaf is a pick they would have liked to have taken into Poppy on the top side, if anything, as Pantheon being hovered there for you. Ari definitely makes a lot more sense. And on the opposite
Yeah.
side, Lucent just looking to take away engage options from the Twitch that can, shut him down once he opens up. Very smart bans there. I expect Kurosh to go towards Corki or to go towards Azir or even Oriana. Just a slow mid lane. Yeah,
Oriana,
a
okay.
slow mid lane. So, Archer, I hope you've got your podcast topics ready because we are in for a slow burn, my boy. That is what I expect here. As Renat was left up throughout the entirety of the ban phase. So can definitely be something that can be irritating to deal with because obviously when Twitch opens up, kind of wants to stay static, not really move too much, and kind of just auto attack the things that are closest to him. Renard has to lay his own, and eventually it's gonna hit him as he's trying to layer in all that damage. So gonna have to bring the cleanse to ensure he doesn't one-shot his own team,
Mhm.
and we'll have to ensure that his positioning is always on point. Things like the handshake can make your life a little bit difficult if you get clipped by that Renard armor and you don't have cleanse as well. But away from that, it seems like we'll just get NBZ's pick here. Svenny knows. You get the Pantheon hover.
I have to do
Yeah,
the
yeah,
formation for Pantheon.
yeah.
I'm just gonna let you know if you want to just cleanse it away and you bring the poppy to the top side, can bring some Chin Zhao into the jungle because if you do so, you can clean away instantly the ultimate from Renata and you're not even worried. Little pens. I mean, I'm enjoying this game. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. I love you
Yeah,
all.
Lucent are trying really hard to get the buff to win out
Oh,
here. As
ah,
Silas would have been kind of cool here. There's some
you
pretty
could steal
strong.
away the Renata ulti.
Yeah, stealing away Ronaldo would definitely feel
I
pretty
haven't
good.
seen that one before.
Neither have I, but we unfortunately won't get it. Just going for a bunch of pretty decent matchups for the Nart. Silas, one of those more aggressive ones, but a lot of AP
Mhm.
already present. So just felt like going towards a true tank inside of the Malphite instead.
That deals AP
And we've
damage.
already, which still deals AP damage, but we've seen it have a much more,
Yeah.
stern matchup in the lane in terms of, shutting down the Gnar, but also, having that kind of pseudo point and click to lock down the Victor, lock down Moxox potentially as well on the Zeri. Definitely very, very valuable. But what I will say, unfortunately, is that we're probably going to have a very, very slow game on our hands because you've got these two control mages that want to hit two items. You've got these two AD carries that don't really want to fight until they hit two items. Twitch, if you opts into the Blade of the Ring King, probably wants to fight at one at earliest. But again, we'll see what happens there. As again, top side matchup as well. It's not really anything that's super exploitable. So it's going to be on these laners to make mistakes. And realistically, Dandom and Bambi to try and capitalize, try and clean up after the laners.
I'm just gonna tell you, I'm warning you. If you don't want to starve when you visit next time, don't do that. Now it's not going to be a slowly one because we do have Poppy, and not only that, you have a couple of dashes, obviously dashes or jumps. Nard is going to have a more difficult time finding his perfect non-ultimate. Viego as well with the engage. But most of all, in my opinion, is the fact that you can deny the wall jump from the Zeri. So if you lock it into a wall, Zeris usually like to be on the wall so they can hop to the other side. And this way, you can just say no, and that is
Yeah.
perfect in my opinion. So Poppy could wake up something in the beginning. You also have a delivery system coming in from Malphite and Poppy. So if Kurosh gets some sort of lead in the mid game or even in the mid lane, that's more than enough to accelerate the game, and that's exactly what I'm hoping for. But I do believe we're going to get the 40, 50-minute game, and that is interesting because it's
I
League of Legends, and I love the game, regardless of the timer, Jamad. I love this game.
Yeah, so do I. You know, we've had a lot of hate for 12-10 onwards. Yes, the games are a lot slower. I think it's still a mentality thing, to be honest with you. I think I said this
Yeah.
from the get-go. I think teams are just super used to, these fast-paced games that we've been playing for the last 3-4 years. Now that all of a sudden, the whole Jubilee patch, people don't get one shots quickly. So now we're seeing these more late game based drafts has kind of sent players and teams on a bit of a spiral of okay, let's slow things down. But I mean, take a look at the LPL, man. The games are still basically averaging like 30 minutes tops. So it is really just about whether or not you want to get things going. For now, though, in Europe, in NA, and definitely in the LCK, things have taken a turn for the slow. We're here for game number 2. Where, like I said, I hope you have your podcast topics ready. And I think this will probably be a game where we maybe have a little fun with chat. This is probably my best
You want
guess.
to talk with the chat?
I think so. I think we're
No,
gonna have to
so
lean on it at least once. We'll see, right? Because at the end of
if
the day,
you
we're here saying,
can,
yeah.
if you can, I'm going to ask you to be the one diving in, because if I do so, my internet connection. So
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
tempting.
see, I'm back home on my very happy,
Good.
fiber, 1K up, 1K down.
Oh
Don't have to
man.
worry about a thing internet. Berlin is just cursed. Berlin is very, very, very cursed. So won't quite get to see chat. Unfortunately, our chat, it's just how it goes. Oh, Kurosh wins the mana flow battle. But again, I don't expect these guys to be going tooth and nail over every bit of CS. Should expect a slow game. But like I said, before you jumped in, yeah, maybe, despite the expectations, we get a really quick game. But
Yeah.
I
You just want to be naughty. One thing that I want to point out for you, we have pressed the attack Twitch to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, keeping it spicy.
Yeah, definitely very interesting, right? Lethal tempo is almost always what you see these days. The only time you see a deviation away from that is if it's AP Twitch, where Hail of Blades is typically preferred, because obviously you want to get the stacks in on your passive as quickly as possible. Let's get that burst damage in. Press the attack is going to bring a little more burst in the sense of, lane pressure, but from what I recall, the whole point of, Twitch into Zeri is Zeri pops the ultimate. She gets a whole bunch of range and mobility. The Twitch ultimate itself plus lethal tempo will outrange that, so you don't really care. PTA screams more to me in the sense of single target burst damage. So see what they will actually try and look for in the laning phase is my best guess. Could be a misrune, mistake on the rune. But of course, it's not like PTA is a completely terrible rune statement.
But I would love to see what happens with the Contaminate after the Pressy attack proc, because it amplifies the damage that you're going to take in, as alongside Little Pants getting pulled into under the turret. It's not the turret that is going to deal the damage, no, it's going to be Mokox alongside with Sven, dealing all that little bursts. As BZ, it seems like he sent the boomerang to the side, to his back, to try and get a cheeky one versus DBL. DBL is not going to have his most favorable lane, I would say. He's trying to keep himself in par in terms of farm, but he's already a little bit behind, but he has a huge wave stacked up underneath the turret. Farming this one, though, is going to be quite hard, as it seems. He's struggling to do so. He doesn't have a lot of mana as well.
Oh, he's good. He's
struggling.
No, he's
getting nervous.
He's not nervous.
He's sweating, Jamada. He's sweating.
Funnily enough, DBL actually tweeted before this game and said something along the lines of, "I swear, if Jamada, Both junglers are here, actually. That's a big
Mata,
stun!
but the stun is perfect. And look at Kurash getting way too low. The flash is being popped.
Oh, no.
Poppy goes underneath the turret. One
No
hammering away.
way.
Dendo is going to flash and takes one shot from the turret.
Wait,
But here
NBC
comes Nar. Ton and Breezy came into the mid lane specifically for this. 15 seconds. Dandon is trying to buy as much time as he can. Can he actually... Oh, he could even recall if he wish, but it's going to be an execute. Fast recall, the boss way.
Yeah, pretty close to as fast a recall as you could get there, realistically. But yeah, MBZ just doing a great job of forcing the execute, I suppose. Kind of unlucky that Dandom can't walk out, but again, he's not giving over any gold and even any XP. No one was around to pick it up, so no harm, no foul. No, that is kill that Lucent pick up in the mid lane. Yeah, I mean, Dandom just goes deep underneath the tower for teasers. Bambi wasn't able, it seems like, to pick up Kurosh on the opposite side. It's a great play, but as I was saying before these junglers
DBL.
rudely interrupted the story, DBL tweeted at me and said, I swear, if Jamada caster curses me again like he did last time he was on Div 2, I'm writing a very angry TikTok. So, DBL needs to watch out, because I'm waiting for the apt time. As soon as I think there's a good time to do it, it's happening.
So you're going to curse him, is that it?
Absolutely, I am.
So there you go, caster's bias, exactly, spam it on the chat. And make our, how do you call it, moderators' life a little bit complicated. For you also having some complications on the bot side, because you run out of mana. You're not someone that can use the Q as a skill or auto attack in this game. Cool enough, I don't know if you know the interaction between Zeri and Renata, because when you get possessed by Renata as a Zeri, you are forced to auto attack and not use Q. So you're really slow attacking the other guys, even though you're berserked.
That's kind of funny.
It is.
Yeah.
I saw that yesterday. I was like, oh, this is cute, but actually useless.
Yeah. Alright, fair enough. Good to know the interaction. As it seemed like Bambi was going to look for an attempt towards Kurosh, but Kurosh was hogging the bottom side pocket. Was nowhere in danger, realistically, even without the flash, so gets to walk himself out for free. There's a lot of priority here in the mid lane. And it seems like Lil Pencils are opened up through towards the mid lane, and Dandom is with him as a pair. See whether or not they want to start the dragon. Whether or not they are just covering for their mid laner. Going to be held in a freeze, and that's going to force teasers to cancel his recall. Kurosh was recalling himself, but it looks like he's just going to cancel it, and Svene is going to walk towards the mid lane and just help this mid lane stay out. Ensure that teasers gets this wave under safely. Unfortunately, they will lose out on the dragon. Lucent will pick that one up. That's a pretty clean takedown from the red side.
Tell me, Jamada, how do you know that this game is going to be slow when you see Oriana and Malphite with the Tear of God stacking up at 6 minutes in? So both players are trying to stack up. It's going to be a slow and insidious one, but when we have action, it's going to be explosive, I would say. Nar coming in with the cull as well. He's aware that he's not going to be able to kill the Malphite, so might as well just try and starve the Malphite while you get yourself ahead. And in this game, do we get to see a black cleaver? Because you do have a Malphite alongside with a Poppy, so it would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, if NBZ wants to play towards the side lanes, I'll definitely suggest it, right? Divine Thunder or maybe into Black Cleaver. Wouldn't be too terrible to shred through the shred through the Malphite rather, and even the Poppy. But of course, you know, team fighting really, really prevalent in this match still. So, you know, going for a mythic, whichever it really wants to be, and then just going straight into tank, you know, Randuin's Force of Nature wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, just because side lanes aren't always really relied on too often, even in this patch. Side lane, a bit of a forgotten art. We saw it in that one Dusty game where Kerberos had Fiora into... Pretty cool, but it was just a bunch of tanks. I think it was like Aatrox Ornn or something silly. No one could match him. But again, we just don't really see too many true split pushes these days. We might see split push champions, perhaps like Camille, or even to a degree if you want to categorize Darius as a side laner. Sure. But we don't really see games be played out in that 1-3-1 kind of style, that split push style anymore. I think dragons definitely play a big role in that, of course.
Yeah.
You need to be there to contest the dragons, so until that changes, I don't think we'll see the return of the side lane anytime soon, as unfortunately, The grayed out screen means we do have a pause.
It's about adaptation. If you can adapt to having someone on the split push, and nowadays, as you say, the dragon is so valuable that you cannot afford to lose that one. So people are running away from that. And I saw a discussion about Bruiser's items and the way they're working right now that makes the tanks a little bit complicated to be played, as DBL is going to be pushed away, but not into the turret, as Kurash is trying to approach and try to deliver some assistance. But while they're doing so, the Herald is going to be collapsed, and Kurash was aware of that timer because he had the ball in the middle of the pit, so he had the vision of it. And here comes Dundon, gets a perfect stun, gets a knock-up as well, but Z's is able to run away. Meanwhile, he's going to lose a little bit in the mid line, but the teleport is not available, so he will have to walk into his lane after buying, after recalling, so they can collapse and make him lose a little bit of experience.
Yeah, Jesus, honestly, kind of fortunate to walk out of that one. It was the polymorph that, I won't say it came in late, but unfortunately the polymorph has a travel time, so CC wasn't quite a perfect chain. He's able to flash over the wall. If that poly comes in, he's definitely dead. Been a really nice pick by Dandom, but still forces the Victor flash, and that's something that can be picked on in the next 5 minutes. Get to see anything happen, but Lightside, they still pick up the Herald, and that's the important thing. First Herald, see where they want to use it. Seems like Bambi looking for a lane gank, so answer to my question seems to potentially already be bot lane.
You has his own ultimate, and Moshox at this point has to, build up the momentum for Zeri even if he ults. And Fuyu can just proc it in. Wild Growth is available as well, and even Damdon was on the bot side, which is going to force Bambi away. They want to use this Herald, they want to give some sort of lead, especially for the Zeri, but I don't think they have the window open right now. So you have to divert from that play, even though they want it. They have a little bit of time to use the Herald, so they're going to try and study where they can use it. On top side, Malphite is not falling behind at all. He's looking for the window on the mid lane, though.
Yeah, I mean, Victor has no flash, and as I was talking about, you definitely want to try and punish that. DBL has a brief window to slip down towards the mid lane, but Teasers is just playing hard respect right here. Doesn't want to get caught out by it in the slightest, and just see DBL move back towards the top side. So, we return to regular lanes, where we haven't really seen too much action just of yet. It's mostly been scuffling over the objectives, over that Herald. There was that gank in the sort of first 2-3 minutes of laning. That's about it. And again, this is one of those games where I don't really know who it benefits more, right? I think both these teams have pretty good scaling, much like...
Something happened. Not even the ultimate was used. Look, double summoner spells proc by Twitch. Something important happened, and I think Fuyu just lost his mind.
I think even our observer was expecting nothing to happen, to the point where it just spontaneously did. Oh, great handshake!
Oh, that's not a handshake. That's a slap in the face and stay away from me. That was beautiful, but let's look into the moment from Fuyu on the bot side.
Yeah, so my only assumption is he goes in for it thinking it's a 1 year. And then Svenne is there. And then even if he finds the 100-0, which doesn't look like he was anywhere close, the bailout would have been there for it anyway. You understand the attempt? I think the Blade of the Ruin King... No, it wasn't even there. Blade of the Ruin King was there. It would have made a whole bunch more sense. But Kurosh getting picked on here. Still has flash.
But look into the mid lane. Poppy yet again tries to get something. Does it happen? You... Well, bail out this one, baby. You push him away. Not even close to any sort of kills. And that is going to be the second one for Lucent. They have the Dragon up. It's going to be their second. The Infernal as well, which is such a good Dragon. Such a good buff for them. Meanwhile, Zeri farming on the bot side. But, well, it's a good way to open up with a Poppy.
Yeah, not so bad. And Dandom just forcing Bambi away just ensures that there's at the very least no chance that a bailout opportunity will come in. And because of that, they all secure their second Dragon of the game. And much like the last game, where we had 2 drafts where realistically execution was going to be what mattered the most for the team fighting, it's the red side team that have 2 Dragons to their name. Whether or not Lightside can repeat months of success in going all the way to pick up Soul is yet to be seen. I know this is bugging our observer, so I'm going to bring it out. I don't know why the Spectator client still shows the previous Dragon when it spawns Hexol. It's really weird. Like, it did it last game too, where the second Dragon was Cloud. and then it
So
showed clouds
that's the
spawning
thing.
the
That's the
entire
thing on
time.
Spectator, by the way. The X Tech, if you get an X Tech on the third one, it's going to be the soul. Specifically, the client will show the previous cloud, the previous dragon. And that's exactly what is happening. Why? You know, those are questions that you need to ask for someone else. But yeah.
Does it? I don't want to derail this entirely, but again, I just don't think anything's gonna happen. Does it fix itself if you turn off the dragon timer and then turn it back on? No. Oh.
There you go.
Quick answer.
The good thing
This
about the
box is-
answer
yeah.
was the fact that it was so done with
It was
his
so
life.
far, like it was so, it was so quick.
No.
Yeah.
As it seems like our observer has tried a lot of solutions, but none came to life.
Yeah.
And but we all know it's going to be the X-Tech. You look into the minimap and you see those little trails from the X-Tech gate as well. So it's more than enough to give you that information that it's going to be an X-Tech dragon for this game. That may open some sort of doors or opportunities for teams to make some sneaky peeky plays.
Hopefully, for our sanity's sake, because right now the opening of this game has been real slow. But it's as we anticipated.
Yeah,
To be honest.
it's
It's one of those
expected.
things where, you know, there's 3 kills. I mean, they could look towards NBZ here. He's losing a lot of health, but no commitment. So, just kind of walks away there. And there's no Herald from the Lucent side either, so nothing will be had. And again, we continue on. You know, this is how I feel like 12-10 games were, like, anticipated to be. Like, every single one. It's not like every game is like this. But this is definitely one of them. But it's going to be nowhere near. Do you remember the game that Viper and I cast last week, where it was? Oh, I think you'd just gone to this thing, so you weren't on the Wednesday show. But there was a particularly lengthy game involving. I want to say one of them was Dusty. I'm gonna grab it. But I think it was Dusty and then another team, and they just didn't do anything for 30 minutes. It was really bizarre. It was really, really bizarre. But thankfully,
It's not gonna happen. Oh, don't worry, don't worry.
Right?
We're gonna
Right?
spice it up as the shockwave is going to get Bambi,
Oh.
but here comes the hostile takeover. Everybody's attacking themselves. Meanwhile, Dendam is alone, looking into the back of his team. No one is supporting him, and the only one that approaches is going to be Fuyu, gets the shield in, and Bambi is going to be the one losing his life in the process. This is a victory for Lucent, the slow as well victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Yeah, not gonna be too upset about that one. At the end of the day, picking up that 1 kill. Just continue the game going in their favor. 2-1 on the Oriana. Not gonna feel too bad about that one. Has the Ludens, has Boots. Working towards the Archangels very slowly. Everybody across the board effectively on first items. DBL should have his Frozen Heart soon. No reason me to think he shouldn't. But a lot of components had to be bought outside of that item as Shockwave, Ultimate, you know, CC dodged away from by Bambi, but you can see Fuyu on the bottom side on the stealth is here, opens up. And even though he does get nard into the wall, the exhaust comes in. And that's what saves his life. Little flashes over, and that's the crucial thing. And Bambi on the top side just burst out by DBL and Kurosh. Great stuff from Little Pants to keep his AD alive. And again, was expecting Cleanse to come in. So that's a really big talking point because Fuyu not having Cleanse means that if he gets clipped by that Renata ultimate once, he's just going to start shooting at his team with that Twitch ultimate up. And that could definitely be very detrimental, to say the least. It's not like you can kill your own AD carry.
You will try though, because if you are
Unless you get hit by the Twitch
as well, yeah.
Unless you get hit by the Renata ultimate as well. As Lil Pants has had enough of his team not stepping up for that tower. He really wanted it, but it still doesn't. Oh, okay. Hero cluster minion takes down the tier 1.
15 seconds though, Jamada. Look into the timer.
Yeah.
This could be the Dragon. Shockwave is available alongside with the Unstoppable Force, so this could be another big team fight.
Yeah, no, definitely. And Lightside, they're the ones with first move into the river right now. They can control the choke, and that's going to be really, really dangerous for Lucent to walk in. But it seems like, oh, Lightside, they're just going to give it up like that. And now all of a sudden, Lucent, they're in the river. They're starting up the Dragon immediately. And Lightside having to walk into Oriana, having to walk into Malphite, that's more dangerous than them having to walk into that choke. So N8 fires off hostile takeover. How big is it?
It is big because the Dragon is now alone. Only one jungler is dead, and even though he tries to go in with the flash, he's not able to get that in time. They lose one man in the process, but it's only a small pebble in the mountain they're building, and with disadvantage of dragons.
Yeah, and I mean, one more till soul now. They'll trade it out for the mid lane tier 1, maybe some jungle camps, but actually they're not even up. So tier 1, maybe look to pressure the tier 2. It seems like core was a little bit split there from Lightside. Only a couple of members are going to remain. I don't think they're going to be able to take the whole tower, as Kurosh will just clear away most of this wave in time. And Lucent, I mean, DBL kind of just, sacrifices himself a little bit to ensure that position can be held. Svene, great positioning to get this ultimate over the wall. And you can see from Fog, it takes a really long time for it to actually show up as well. But ultimate here from Dandom forces the Viego away. Great stuff from him on the Poppy. And yeah, you can just see Shockwave, ultimate from Malphite as well, just keeps all the frontliners in place from Lightside so they can't actually approach the dragon. And the call is to burst it down in time, which they do. Ooh, audacious dive.
They just want to dive, but the heroic charge is not enough to get there. And this time didn't connect with the turret, so this way is going to allow the Nard to just run away freely. Only one assist so far on the Nard, even though he built himself to Trinity Force. Maybe looking for the split push, but DBL is not even allowing it because he wants to be with the team. He has a frozen Nard, so he's going to be a nuisance. Look at Bambi, look at BZ, look at Moshox as well. Every single one of them is going to auto attack, and the frozen Nard needs to be in full effect on the fight. So even though the Nard wants to split push, I don't think it's going to be allowed. A Black Cleaver is also in the build, as we've discussed previously at the beginning of the game. This is such a good item. And I'm trying to look into what Fuyu is going to build afterwards. He bought himself the Blade of Ruin King alongside with the Zerker Greaves. And at this point, is he going for the Mythic? It's going to be a Kraken Slayer. Is he going to be a Shield Bow? What do you think is going to be with this Presty attack, Twitch?
Yeah, definitely a really good question, because we've seen loads of different takes on Twitch builds, right? Some people just go Kraken Slayer first. Some people, go the balk, like Fuyu has here, into Kraken Slayer. Or some people even entirely ignore a Mythic until maybe third item or so. Oh. Is Fuyu okay here?
Sneaky, sneaky. He got himself caught. He's going to use his ultimate. He's just spreading the love, but now he's going for Little Pants, even though he saved him in the previous fight. Not enough damage coming in from the Contaminate because it's mostly about on a hit. It's not on cast for Fuyu. So, but at least he survives. Little Pants is going to keep his AD carry yet again alive. I mean, we gotta commend support players. Even though it's pretty elo, it's really important for the community.
Yeah, though, agree. If you play Enchanters, you're not eloing player, I promise. But what I will say is, again, we kind of saw a brief snippet, like even in those 3 auto attacks that Fuyu got in on Lil Pants once he was berserked up, it was still like 300, 400 almost HP off of the Lulu. Imagine if he's, 3 items and he's got a Kraken Slayer and he's got a Rune and Hurricane. He's going to be hitting multiple members on his team with those big ultimates, and oh, this is cheeky, but it's actually been spotted out by a ward, so the recalls are going to be stopped by Lucent, which was Fuyu is back in base with no ultimate. So this Baron maybe not as threatening until the TBL shows up on the Malphite. And Lightside is just going to step away. And that's the thing, neither team really wants to be caught in the pit against either roster. Shockwave, Malphite ultimate, Twitch on one side, Victor, not handshake, a hostile takeover, and a Mega Gnar on the other.
Yeah.
You have to murder the entirety of the other team before you can even consider being in that pit.
21 minutes in, 1 minute away for what could possibly be the soul in favor of Lucent, a team that is 1-4, struggling to get some wins on Division 2. Meanwhile, Lightside are the ones to look out for. This is the team that everybody's talking about in Division 2. They're the ones, well, not undefeated, but uncontested so far, a little bit, 4-1. In first place of Division 2. It's still early, we talked about this previously, yes it is, but we need to start building up this narrative of where we're going. It seems that Lightside are going to the skies. Meanwhile, Lucent, well, they're pulling them back onto the earth with this game. 3 dragons and 30 seconds away from what could possibly be the soul. Now, looking into vision, Jamada, doesn't seem like any team is investing hardly on that vision and control of the same.
And swap back over to the red side as well. You can see there's really not much vision on either side. It's just effectively at the entrances. Lucent, they're going to brute force their way into the river. And Fuyu's going to come out of invisibility. But again, it's Lucent that are in front of the pit itself first. Means they're going to have control of who really gets the first engage. Unless MBZ can try and slip around, try and create a bit of a flank angle, a bit of an irritant. to the setup. But the Dragon's been started, and BZ's going to be forced into Mega Gnar. This is maybe the one window where Lightside can fight. But look at that Renat ultimate.
Oh, Little
not gonna hit
Pants didn't
anyone.
want to go anywhere, so he flashed away. I don't even think it would be needed, but he takes it with heart. BZ goes in, only stuns the mountain, and immediately Poppy comes in, separates one more. And meanwhile, Nard goes to the other side. Heartbreak for Bambi to go into any position. As much shock, nobody's looking into the Zeri. Fuyu takes the first one, but look at the HP bar from Lucent. They're bleeding in slowly. It's a shutdown, and Zeri is looking hungry. Fuyu is looking for the kill. Sven actually saw him. He spotted him. No, he didn't. Fuyu goes away, but he's going to be cornered like a little rat. He's going to be Moxox actually taking him out. Fuyu slowly but surely will go down for the ace. And just as we say the ace, DBL is going to respond. This is how long of a fight it was.
You know, I have to say, I'll commend Fuyu for sidestepping all of those cues at the very end and prolonging that as long as possible. But yeah, Lucent, unfortunately, DBL just in a really awkward position. I think he was just really slow to rotate. He tried to slip into that sort of where that Hex Gate is to maybe create a bit of a flank pressure as Lightside approached the pit, but unfortunately just gets caught out, poked out, locked down. We'll get a look at it in the replay. Because once he gets absolutely removed from the team fight, Kurosh also has an armor which isn't really the best. It's mostly onto MBZ, I think maybe Bambi at the same time, which wasn't fantastic. So you can see all these zoning tools and poke goes down to DBL. DBL realistically should just go and take the blast cone, recoup, rejoin with his team. You can see this ultimate doesn't actually hit Bambi, and it doesn't hit MBZ either. Bambi siphoning the form of the Malphite, pays for it with his life in the end. Dies to the Twitch poison and the poke out, but also look at that storm from Victor, forcing all the members of Lucent back. And Lucent are just not able to retaliate to all of this damage coming out from the carries of Lightside. And again, it all comes down to DBL just being forced out. He can't play frontline. He can't play flank pressure. And because of that, Lucent lose the fight. Lightside win.
Oh, well, you were talking about slow, Jamada. But, well, in 2 minutes, we have two major fights. One for the Dragon that could be a soul. The other one could be for the Baron, but they get spotted nonetheless. But this shows that Lightside are trying to provoke something from Lucent. And Lucent had the game, but all of a sudden, it's slowly dripping away. They cannot hold it, that advantage that they tried to build in for 25 minutes.
Not just yet.
They get Renata, they follow it up. Is the damage there? Sven getting the guarding, getting the shield. Hostile takeover is still alive if he wants to use it. DBL getting the wild growth. This is such a beautiful engage. The jungler goes down. It's for the top lane. But look into Sven. Comes in with a hostile takeover. It's going to be only Orianna throwing some wrenches at Fuyu. Fuyu is okay. He's a mean little slippery rat. And they want to go for the Venom. But I think only to recall because they don't have HP. Or there was, oh my lord!
Oh, that ability is not
your
balanced.
fingers on electricity.
It's just not balanced, is it? It's so weird. After seeing Zeri, you know, with that ability for so long and not really deal so much damage, and then all of a sudden it can just crit. You know, is he on vision? He is. Oh wait, no, it was blind.
Oh, what was
well, now he's on vision. That's the W damage. It's just so part of the buffs that they rolled out to Zeri was that if the W goes through a wall, it can now crit. And I can't recall if it is a 100% crit chance when it goes through a wall or not, but as you can see, the damage is quite
interesting. I would say the Ultra Shock Laser. I'm trying to.
It always strikes. Yeah, it always crits if it goes through a wall. There you go. Observer just highlighted for us. So. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I would say.
Yes.
Interesting skill at this point. And look at it, it's already maxed out and he's going for the Infinity Edge. So if that Ultra Shock Laser, here he goes. All little raptors got demolished.
Yeah. Rest in peace, those little chickens. That tier 2 is also like a sneeze away from dying, by the way. So expect Lightside to maybe think about going towards that at some point, but their eyes are consistently towards this Baron area for now with no Dragon up on the table. Lucent just not really going to be having any of it. They know it's not going to take anyone down for now as Danbon.
Damdon is going to use that little minion to use the charge to try to get himself into position. They need to lock in Zeri. But can they do it? Look at this, Kurosh. so low from one little tap from the W. You told us before, this was a skill that you could just ignore. This was more about the slow. Now it's more about putting your fingers in the outlets and trying to survive at the end of the day. This is not interesting for them.
No, no, it is not in the slightest. And for now, we'll see whether or not Lucent can try and pin this Zeri down, right? No real point and click CCs outside of, you know, the Polymorph and Dandom having the Poppy kit, but again, it's not always going to be consistent. Moxox has to misstep. So far, has been doing a great job at dancing around the Malphite in particular. Of course, that'll be one of the main things that will catch him out, which hasn't been the case so far. Lucent, again, it feels like we've seen this fight play out so many times. Will be first in front of the pit. Kurosh has teleport, so will join his team from the exact same angle.
Bernard is getting some fury. Shockwave is available in the little spot. If he puts the ball in the middle, it's going to be really hard for anyone to transverse versus that one, as they're going to get engaged on DBL. They push away one target. It's going to be the Gnar. Do they have enough time? That's a beautiful hostile takeover. Fuyo is capable of getting himself clean, but look at the time they wasted. This is more than enough for Lucent to lose the fight. Again, Lightside, another dragon. This is going to be the second one, and they're still on the chase because there's no turret there. DBL is looking down. He has to run away. Ziz is going to burn him away with the laser, and now it's Moxox is going to be the one v1 versus Fuyu, and all of a sudden Bambi appears and he's like, stay away from my AD carry. I'm the AD carry right now. Little Pence is aware of his fate. He knows his destiny. It's not purple that he's tasting. It's actually something way worse, as the mist is going to corrupt him. Little Pants running away, but look into the base. Everything is going down. Oh, Juke's on you. He's going to dab. He's going to take the gate. He's going to take the gate. Oh, see you later, alligator. Meanwhile, Gnar could take his vengeance on the little Lulu. Or maybe the Lulu could just flank away.
Oh, Shockwave.
Oh, she's still trying to run away from Viego, by the way. They're still playing hide and seek.
Round two, Little Pants.
Is Little Pants flanking again? They need to slow down Moshox, and Moshox is on a rampage. We talked about this, Zeri. Little Pants is getting so low. He's going to use Unstoppable Force, but an Unstoppable Mountain. What can you do after you knocked him up? Nothing. Exactly nothing, as DBL will go down slowly. Moshox is just piercing away. 1,000 caps going against you. Who you He's going for the kill for you! Exhausted is not enough to get the bailout. He's now running away. Oh no, you cannot touch this. You cannot touch this. Oh, and he pierces Ratatouille to get the ace at the end of the day.
Oh, that was a team fight. Archer, that was a team fight. Teasers is in the mid lane. We'll pick up that inhibitor and just XK out of the base. And Myoma, I can't even count how many people died in that team fight. That was effectively all the way from the dragon. So that was a 2-minute team fight.
Yes, and I'm still not recuperated, by the way, so thank you, guys. It's not like I need to talk tomorrow.
No, you don't. No.
Oh, by the way, you have a replay of 2.5 minutes, so good luck.
Yeah. Not my job, as a Chaos Storm was actually dropped there. 9 people died.
And I think 8 of them were part of Lucent, no?
Potentially. Very strong shot.
Yeah.
Great.
Ooh, eventually we'll jump into that team fight. But okay, Black Cleaver coming in for the Gnar, so he's awake alongside with the Guardian Angel. So if it was really hard to kill the front line, now you just can't. Jamada, help me.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. Lucent, again, have, you know, what I would call... Oh, no, never mind. Something's happening here.
Okay, apparently it is my take yet again. Demdom, oh, he wants to pull it away with the hammer, but the hammer doesn't do anything. Fuyu is going to get knocked against the wall. He's going mad, but he's going down on the legs. It's going to be Moshox yet again with this Zeri 7-1. CS is kind of jealous, so he wants to get a kill. The Chaos Storm is going to connect with 2 of them. Well, Kurosh is now lonely. He knows the mist is there, so the king will be there as well. Shockwave not even available. Malphite recalling into a broken base. Even though you're a mountain, you have no structures to help you. Guardian Angel is procced. He has the perfect unstoppable force, but what follow-up can you bring in? You're just slapping on the knob, but there's no slap damage. Look at that, you knocked him up. But This is not Harry Potter. You cannot scream Wingardium Leviosa and do anything outside of that. As Kurosh is there, trying to throw in with the command attack, but the command attack is not a command leave by base, as the base is going to be destructed by Lightside. They finally get back, but the Nexus is lonely at this point, as everybody from Lightside is connected with it. Fuyu doesn't have the Ratitat available, and the Nexus goes down in the end, as Lightside take yet another victory.
Yeah, Lightside pick up a win in pretty dominating fashion, but I have to say that looked. If you're a Lucent fan, I would be frustrated with that performance. I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie. That was genuinely a pretty winnable game from Lucent's point of view. They had the setup time and time again. They just never really utilized it properly. And Lightside on the opposite end of it just capitalized wonderfully every single team fight, even though we saw these very stellar ultimates from Poppy knocking away Bambi. They're just winning out the target selection. That was what was key. They were able to separate members like DBL off to the side so they were able to just get easier backline access. They were able to always allow Moxox to just have free setup. As long as they gave him and provided him with space, he was able to set up. And we never really got to see the Twitch come into action, open up onto a great big team fight after a Shockwave or a Malphite ult. It seemed like everything was a little bit too disjointed from the Lucent side. And again, Lightside, despite giving up 3 dragons in the early game, just capitalized every single team fight time and time again.
I'm going to say it again. Twitch Lulu is something that is constantly popping up, but so far, at least at NLC, hasn't worked out a lot. In terms of a win rate, I think Lulu is close to 15 to 20 between both divisions. So that's a hot take to take for the Lulu. It's not Lulu's issue. If it was Pantheon, though. Well, let's continue with this one because we have to do a quick break before we jump into the interviews to understand what happened in favor of Lightside, why it was so hard at the beginning of the game. On the other side for Lucent, what happened? I'll see you soon in just a few minutes.